He's still struggling. If you watch his back foot, he's still struggling to propel. He's gotten so big and strong, and he hasn't really gotten his mechanics that much better. He's just gotten so much bigger and more powerful. I mean, he's the perfect example of someone who comes in here and becomes a beast athlete from an average, below average, right? You could say, and still now has to polish up the mechanics. But he's the testament that mechanics doesn't really have that big of an impact on your velocity. It has an impact, but not a big impact like what he went through, like a 70 to 90 an hour jump. That's the athleticism. So he's just still got to polish this up, which will just make his athleticism convert better, and his legs just are engaging right here. So just start doing some drive drills. So like a drive, like drive, throw, or drive. Just 2 drives and a throw. So hold that position and drop. Side, yeah. You need to start that every time. Because now that you're driving, it's a different movement.
Yeah.
You got this getting more aggressive, this pushing more energy forward. Mm-hmm. Now this has to work with that.
Yeah.
You're powerful enough to, in 2 drives, whatever energy and velocity you're building, you're powerful enough to then go into 1 drive and get the same velocity. So that's why you need to do this. Because your velo goes up, and then you need to be able to do your 1 drive, get the same movement. And then you're just gonna have to blend. You're gonna have to go drive, throw, and then drive, throw. Drive, throw, and then drive, throw. There you go, 48. This is really impressive. 47s, 48s, not many guys can do it. A very few can do it. The highest we have is now been up to 53, which is impressive, but a guy that's much bigger than him. Athletically, he's probably better than him per pound. The Keegan, who's the one who has it, he's much bigger than him. So 47, 48 is really impressive. Now, doesn't mean you're gonna convert these to the baseballs. You still have a job to do to take the mechanics you're being forced to do better here and apply it to the baseball. So if he goes to the baseball and he's flying open and he's not doing this stuff, he's not gonna see the results. So that's why when you're doing this, he's gotta be going, hey, I gotta remember this. I gotta, everything I'm doing here, I gotta apply to the baseball. That's why if you're in this program on feel, you're gonna fail. If you're like, I gotta feel what I feel with the baseball, that's just like so ambiguous. It's like, it doesn't give you something concrete, quantifiable that you can hold on to. Like I could say, wow, look how much more my hips rotate here. Mm-hmm. Well, obviously when you grab the baseball, I want to get my hips to rotate through just as much. Yeah. So it needs to be an assessment of what am I doing, not a feeling of what I'm doing, which is kind of like arbitrary. You could literally, that feeling could mean something different tomorrow, right?
Throw a 50 right this.
50. Let's throw a 50. Damn! 50. Oh. What the hell is that?
Yeah.
Do you see what you did?
Yeah, that looked
Tell me what you did right there.
I just stayed close with
Yeah, but did your upper body completely change?
Yeah.
What did your upper body do?
I don't know. I can do it again.
Dude, you don't have to.
It is.
Your upper body goes like
good, bro.
So your upper body goes like this.
Yeah.
On that one, your upper body went like that.
Yeah.
Literally, you went like this.
Yeah.
I've been playing baseball for most of my life. Started out in t-ball, coach's pitch, and I think I fell in love with it kind of the moment I started playing. Played all sorts of positions, but I never really got the opportunity to pitch until I was in, I want to say, 8th grade or so. And from there I fell in love with pitching and everything that came along with that. But I kind of just always was mediocre I mean, I was okay for my school, but I played at a really small school and really did not have a lot of opportunity to play at the college level coming out of high school. I was, throughout my high school career throwing just in the 70s, and that really was not good enough to really get me a spot anywhere. My freshman year at the college I play for now, I didn't even try out, and I was prepared to hang up the cleats. So it turned out that it wouldn't have mattered if I had tried out and made the team anyway, because this was the year of the pandemic and the season was canceled. And it was during that time in lockdown at home that I made the decision to come down here, and that's been the decision that's saved my career, really. My first impression of top velocity had actually come before I came into camp. I had watched a lot of Brent's videos, all those pitching tips show, and all sorts of, back when you used to do breakdowns of professional pitchers. I watched a lot of those videos when I was a teenager. But coming down here was really not something that was financially viable for me until that when I came down here at 20 years old. But my impression was that this was the place to be to get me to gain velocity and ultimately become the pitcher who I knew I could be. When I first came to top velocity, I was very undersized. I was the same height I am now, 6'4", but I was only about 180 pounds, whereas now I'm about 215 pounds. So, and along with the weight gain that I've achieved through this program, there have also been significant increases in my athleticism. When I first came down here, I had a real hard time just across the board athletically. I was, slow, despite being, light and lean. I was not very explosive, and really just pretty weak across the board. So when I first came down here, I topped out at 78 miles an hour at 20 years old. And that number, 78, was the highest velocity that I had hit in years. So that, I mean, being 20 years old, throwing 78, it's hard to really expect to be able to really play at the college level. But that was something I wanted to do and to make the change. Partly just to see that I could do it and to prove to myself that I could. So I've been up to 93 recently, and touched 92 multiple times, and been much more consistently in the 90s. So there's been a big transformation. I guess I say about 15 miles an hour that I've gained in this program. For some athletic measurements and how they've improved, when I first came down here, my vertical jump was, I think, a 30 maybe, and now I can pretty much hit a 37 any day. My power clean was maybe 225, if that, and now I've been up to 310 pounds. My broad jump was probably around 8 feet when I first came here, and now it's been up to 10 feet. My 10-yard dash was probably about a 1.7 or a 1.8 when I first came down here, and then recently I was down to a 1.46. So pretty much across the board, I've seen pretty significant changes in my athletic ability. Speaking on the commitment level that it takes, I guess probably the biggest thing is the consistency and the discipline. And really what this program gives you is really a blueprint and a path. And if you just stay on it, there are going to be ups and downs along the way, that's just the nature of life. But really the cheat code, if there is one, is just not giving up. I never really thought that I would become one of the guys who've made the most gains through this program. I was always, I mean, there were several times I almost quit, to be honest. But I guess something in me, I don't know exactly what, but I just stuck with it and stuck it out. I think, you know, sometimes when you have a lot of distance between where you are and where you want to be, it can be really hard to see the finish line. And for me, something that was really helpful just mentally was to just kind of aim for that next step and just focus on that next mile an hour, those next 5 pounds on your lift. And as long as you can have the next step sort of in your headlights, then just keep going after that. And then, you know, one day you'll look up and you'll be, oh man, I've gained 15 miles an hour and now I throw 90 plus. Where really at the outset, that was not something that I thought was really likely to happen. I just want to throw a mile an hour harder than I do now. I want to hit 94, and then I want to hit 95. I want to get all my lifts up. I need to get a lot better at my mechanics and how I move. There's definitely a lot of velocity in there that I can get out, but at the same time, I want to get better athletically. Now I'm just trying to focus on playing more at my college and being a better pitcher, and also just kind of focusing on those next, you know, those next miles an hour. I mean, obviously one day I would like to play professionally if that's something that I can make happen, but I'm really just trying to focus on the goals that are right in front of me. I came in here a washed up 20-year-old throwing 70 poo. And yet I still was able to make it to a level that frankly a lot of guys are not easily able to accomplish. And all that is a testament to this program and a testament to how good you can become at something if you just stay committed to it. Honestly, at the same time, I really wish I would have come in here earlier, because then I probably would have seen, I would probably be even better than I am now, you know, at this point in my life. So I would say to anyone that's really considering this, you really have to just think about, am I really where I want to be right now? And do I have the tools to get to where I want to be if I'm not where I want to be right now? And what Top Velocity does is it gives you the roadmap. You still have to provide the elbow grease, the effort, but if you do, and if you continue to put it in the effort over a long period of time, you're going to see results. There's really not a lot of guys who come in here and bust their ass and really work for years on end who don't see results. Pretty much every guy who does that has seen pretty major transformations for the betterment of their career.
Let's go!